everyone, welcome to our channel, and today we will study about conditional statements in shell. So previously we have studied the basics of shell scripting, and today we will be learning about conditional statements that are used in shell. We have used these conditional statements in all the languages, all the programming languages that we have used yet. But what is different in this? What is the difference between this if else condition and other if else condition? So the basic difference is its syntax. And what is the syntax? It's basically a very simple syntax, but the main thing is you have to use spaces and your syntax properly here. You don't have to write if and after that else. You have to add one then there, then then. Okay, so let's see the syntax. You have to use if, then you have to give space, then square bracket or big bracket, whatever you say, then space, then your expression, your condition, whatever condition you are giving, then space, then big bracket. After that you have to use a then statement, then. After that space or enter key. After that statement 1. After that you have to write else, and make sure you are writing echo command in your statement 1. Okay, you have to write echo to show the output. After that you have to use else condition. If the condition written in if statement doesn't matches, then you have to go for else statement. Okay, because if you are using if else condition, then I am having one condition, like suppose I am having one condition that I should be above 18 to vote, but if I am not above 18, then what? Then user must see a message that you are not eligible to vote. So for that thing we use else condition. You have to close it with fi command, fi line, fi. You have to write fi there to end your if else condition. Okay, so this is the basic syntax of if else condition. Now we'll move on to if elif condition. What is the syntax of that? In if elif condition, you have to use if, elif, then else. Like suppose let's understand with a simple example. If we have three numbers like a, b and c, three variables we have, and we have to check who is greater. If we are having a is equal to 100, b is equal to 200 and c is equal to 300, you know that c is the greatest, but how can we print that? What is the condition behind that? Say if a user is writing a is equal to 1000. Okay, if I have written a is equal to 100, but someone wants to make change, he or she wants to write a is equal to 1000. So output should be a is equal to 1000. So output should be a is the greatest. I am comparing these all three numbers, and I should give proper condition to all of them, a, b and c, to all of them, so that if anyone is writing or inserting the value of any one of them like a, b or c, if anyone is increasing b, then it should show that b is the greatest. So for that we have a syntax: if space square bracket space expression1 space square bracket. After that you have to use then. After that you have to write your statement, and that statement must be echo. What is that? Echo. And then elif. After if you have to use elif, not else. You have to use elif here. Then space, then again a square bracket, then space, then expression, your condition, whatever you want to give, then space, then big bracket. After that you have to use then. After that we will use a statement. See, after using then you have to use a statement like echo b is the greatest. Okay, and then else statement and fi. You have to close it with fi. Now you will say that why we are not using any condition in else statement. So this is basically understandable, that if you are using all the condition in above two, then there is nothing left for the third one. If the first and second condition doesn't match with your expectation, you will have to say that C is the greatest, third is the greatest, third is the largest number. So you don't have to use any condition with else, you just have to write else and then echo the third thing, that C is the greatest number, as we have taken the example, and then you have to close with Fi. Next is, you should be very careful with your syntax, because here it is written, and I have told you previously also, that shell scripting is a case sensitive language, which means proper syntax has to be followed while writing the scripts. You have to follow a proper syntax while you are writing your script. Okay, let's not waste our time and move on to practical now. We will see the basic of if else and if elif condition today. For that, I have to log in into my terminal. Okay, I'm using Ubuntu here. Now I'll open my terminal. Right, I am into my shell. If you have to open your shell, what you have to do, I have told you in my previous video. Just see that you have to use sudo space sh command, then you will have to enter your password. You will enter your password, then you will move on to your shell. It is a very easy thing, you should see that. Now I am in my shell, I have to write my if else command. So first of all, I'll start with my, let me zoom it for you. So I have to make a file first, okay, a .sh file, and then I'll write conditions into it, and if my conditions are correct, then my execution will be proper. If my condition will not be correct, so I'll get an error. So nano myif, okay, .sh. I'm making this file myif.sh named file. Now my file is opened. I have to write the first command, which was hash exclamation mark slash bin slash bash, not nash, it's bash. Okay, then what we have to do, we have to first study if else condition. So basic, as I told you in my example, that I'll use a voting criteria example. Okay, if you are above 18 you can vote, if you are below 18 you cannot vote, and I have to write that using if else condition. So let's start. You have to write if, and before that let's take a user input. Okay, let's take a user input. If user will enter uh, above 18 or below 18, he will get the message whatever he wants, whatever the condition is. So let's take echo first. Echo enter your age, read age. Now if condition space, see I am using space here, then a bracket, then a space, then you have to age, add $age. I have already told you, because if you are taking a user inputted value, you have to take it as dollar age. Okay, then space, then I'll write if age is greater than. So what command will be for greater than? It is -ge. Okay, if age is greater than, I'll give a space 18. Okay, space and close. Then what should be my output? Then echo space, and then I should see that you can vote. If user is entering his age, his or her age more than 18, then he or she can vote. So you can vote. Else what should happen? Echo you cannot vote. You are under age. Okay, I'll end this condition with fi. I've started it with if, now I am ending it with fi. Okay, I'll save it now and I'll check whether it is correct or not. myif.sh. Now I've saved it. I'll give my file some permission. 777 myif.sh dot slash myif dot sh. Okay, enter your age. Now what is your age? Your age is suppose 19, so you can vote. If your age is not 19, if your age is below 18, then what? Myif dot sh. If your age is 17, so you cannot vote, you are underage. It ran successfully because I have added all the syntax correctly. But if I haven't used that syntax correctly, I would have got an error. Okay. Now let's see another thing, which is if elif condition. If elif condition. Okay. So what for that? I'll use my nano myif.sh. This was my file. Let's make some update into this. I'll just backspace will use. Now I have to take three conditions. Okay, I have to use if elif and I'll use three conditions. What are they? Let's go for it. Bin slash. Okay, and now bash. I have to take three conditions. I have to match uh, like wait, hashtag. Now I am telling you what I have to do. I have to check whether A, B, C, which one is greatest. This is my thing. I have to check this. So I'll take let me take a number like A is equal to 100, B is equal to 200, and C is equal to 300. You can guess I'll get 300 as my greatest, C as my greatest answer. Okay, but I have to write my condition for that. Let us zoom it out. Yep, C is equal to 300. Now I'll use my if else condition. If space C. Whenever you are writing this if else if condition, and in that you have to use your AND operator, and you have to use like checking, like if you have to compare A with B and C, then you must use double square brackets. Okay, then give a space. Don't just always remember that you have to use these two square brackets here. Don't forget to use that, because it may create problem while you will be executing this file. Okay, if now I have taken A and B and C, you can also take user input values with read and echo, but here what I am doing, I am taking some values A, B and C, and I'll just use these values, use these variables. So $A, this is my first thing. If $A greater than what? $B, and $A greater than dollar, okay, $C. So if A is greater than B, A is greater than C, then A must be greatest. So what? Then echo, it's then actually, then echo, what is that? My A is the greatest. Okay. Next thing, I'll use elif now. Elif condition. Make sure you give proper spaces here. dollar, I'll compare B now. Okay, if dollar B is greater than, I'll use dollar A first, then I'll compare it with dollar C. So if B is greater than dollar A, and see, I'm giving spaces with every command, whatever condition I'm writing, I'm giving a space, and that you have to follow. Dollar B is greater than dollar C space L. If it is, then what you should have as your output, B is the greatest. We should get B is the greatest. Okay, B is the greatest. Now next what else? We have to use else condition now, because we have taken B and A conditions successfully, and if A doesn't matches, B doesn't matches, then surely C will. So you don't have to add any condition, you just have to use else echo. If you are using condition, then you have to write then. Okay, then you have to write then, but here we are not writing any condition, then you will just use else and then echo space C is the greatest, whatever it is, greatest. Okay, I'll end it with fi. I'll save it. Yes, I have to save it. Permissions chmod, because I have already given permissions, I don't require any permission now. It will just get executed. My if dot sh c, I'll get C is the greatest. C is my greatest. Look, C is the greatest because I have entered C as 300. Now I'll open my file and make some changes in that. I'll just increase the value of A now and then check, is my A greatest? Is it correct? Is my condition, if my script, if my syntax is correct, then I'll get A as the greatest now. So let's execute it. My if dot sh, here it is executed and I am getting A is the greatest. So I have written it correctly and I am getting a correct output of my if else condition. So that's all. See, A is 1000, B is 200, C is 300 if I have used spaces correctly. So that's all for today. I have checked my output and I hope you must have learned how to use if else, if elif, and how to use spaces correctly. Okay, the most important thing was if, then, elif and spaces. That's all for today. Thank you for watching our video.